Afternoon guys, it's Christmas Day. Happy Christmas. Just out for a walk on the beach with James. Say hello James.
Hello James.
Yeah, just having a little bit of a walk down here. It's absolutely gorgeous down here today. Flat calm, sun shining, loads of people out. Hello. Say hello James.
You are here.
I know, yeah, I'm on that screen. Yeah, isn't that clever?
And I am here.
Exactly, yes, you're there as well.
I'm getting dead.
Right, you go play. Go play. I'm going to talk to these people. Yeah, so it's gorgeous. So I've got the thumbs up to go this evening, probably about 5 o'clock. High tide's at 11, so I've got the whole tide up from low. Got some squid and some sand eels thawing out. Got a few bits of end tackle as well to make up some new rigs. And I've got a new flask as well for my cup of coffee. So I'm just going to entertain this one for another hour or so, get him home to his mother, and yeah, it'll be time to go fishing. Oh, good evening guys. Well, I'm back down the beach again. It's about 5:45 now, so time I get down there and get set up, probably be fishing from about 6:30 and high tide's at 11, so I've got the best part of it. I've done my bits and pieces, they're happy, the kids are going to go off to bed shortly anyway, so yeah, got a few hours to get down there and see if we can make it happen. I've been itching to get out for a little while now, but the tides and my timings have been all wrong, so it's been a little bit tricky. I've got some squid that I had in the fridge, in the freezer rather, and got a few sandals, but they're not fresh ones, they're refrozen ones, so I don't think they're going to be any good. But as long as I've got some baits out there and we're fishing, I'm happy. I've got my new flask with me that I've got today for Christmas, thanks to Santa, and yeah, I'm going to get down there now, find a little spot. There's no one about. It's Christmas Day, so I don't expect there to be anybody down there, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, I'm going to get down there now, find a spot and give it a go. I was going to fish down by the coffee cup. I've got a lot of confidence down there, and I've had a few fish down there recently, as you know, but I've just pulled up and I've started to get stuff out of the car, and about 6 or 7 lads turned up on push bikes, and they went down on the beach and started shining some torches around, and you've got to be a little bit careful, you know, especially if you're fishing on your own and there's obviously not many people around, no other anglers or anything like that, so just thought I'd give that a bit of a swerve and come along the seafront a little bit further. So I'm just by the rowing club, the hovercraft in Clarence Pier just up along the way, and I've got the restaurant Mozzarella Joe's just to my left. So I haven't fished here before, but yeah, it's a few hours to fish. Don't really care where I'll go, to be honest. Just want to get some baits out in the water and see if we can catch a fish on Christmas Day. So yeah, I'm going to get the rods set up, get some baits on, get them out there, and then we'll have another chat. Okay guys, so that's one rod set up, and since I've been getting into this beach fishing a little bit now, I thought I'd look into rig mechanics and what's out there and what's available and what's doing it at the moment. And I quite like the idea of this pulley pennel, to be honest with you. So I've been out and got myself a few bits of terminal tackle. I've got some Gemini pulley beads and some splashdown lead clips, and I've got this thing set up, and I love the mechanics of it. I love the way it works in theory. Obviously a successful rig, especially for fishing big baits, for bigger fish, so right up my alley really. So I've got this one set up on the ray rod, as we've been calling it. I have got a couple of sand eels there, so I'm going to put a couple of sand eels out to start with, and squid on the other rod, and see where we go from there. So guys, we're off the mark. Got ourselves a dogfish, so we haven't blanked. First chuck as well on the squid rod, so well pleased with that. No monster dogfish, but I love catching these things. And on the whole squid, took the hook down a bit, but it come out, popped out nice and easily, no blood or anything, so I'm going to slip this one back and then I'll have a quick chat with you about what happened. So there, that was pretty cool. New spot, didn't really have a lot of confidence in it, obviously, because I haven't fished here before, and I've gone and caught a fish first cast, so really happy. I've saved the blank and I've got my Christmas Day fish. I've got that squid rod out, and as I started setting the grippers and getting a bit of a bend in the tip, I just noticed that the sound ear rod banged once and went all slack. So I quickly ran down and wound into it, and it felt quite heavy, but then it didn't, and then it did, and then it didn't, and it's almost as if, and going by the dogfish fight, I think there's a lot of either kelp or some broken rough ground out there or something. There's certainly quite a lot of something out there that I'm getting caught in on the way back. It's not enough for me to lose tackle at the moment, but it's just something I need to keep an eye on. I think if I do hook a fish, I've got to wind them in a bit quickly and not mess about and let them get into whatever's there. But yeah, I've got them back out again now. The sound eel rod was pretty cool. I was able to put that straight back out again without having to rebait. But unfortunately, one of the hooks snapped when I was getting the hooks out with the pliers on the squid panel, so I just had to put a new hook link on there. But yeah, they're out there again, and it's pretty cool actually. There's no one about. It's such a lovely, calm evening. It's just gentle lapping of the shore. Tiny little breeze coming from the left. It's really nice, quite pleasant. So I've got another fairly decent bite on the squid rod. Just going to wind it in a minute. I just thought I'd pour myself a coffee and just show you my new flask. This is courtesy of Centre. It's a Thermo Cafe by Thermos. It's a steel one, rock solid. Keeps everything nice and hot. Does what it says on the tin. I needed a new one. So I was half expecting that to be another dogfish. Second cast on the squid rod, and another good bite, but we've got a very greedy whiting and a very big bait. That bait's probably almost as long as that whiting. Brilliant. And there we have it guys, fish number 3 of the night. Another dogfish. Happy days. Well pleased. So there we go, there's fish number 4 and dogfish number 3 on the sound eel rod this time. There's definitely a kelp bed out there though, I can feel it now. I'm casting over it, and as I'm winding in, as long as I wind in quickly and don't hang about, it's getting stuck a little bit, but it's pulling through, and once it gets this side of it, there's sort of like 2 banks if you like, and then once it gets this side of it, it's nice and free. And we've had 3 dogfish and a whiting, and I haven't been fishing very long to be honest, so that's going really well. Well chuffed. Getting back in. So the sand eels that I've got, they're not the freshest, they've been defrosted a couple of times now, but they're okay. Nice little pennel there, 2 eels, and it's just caught me a dogfish, so got no problem sticking that back out again. I think we've missed the time for the rays. I think, from what I can gather, the rays tend to come at low water. Not even sure this is a ray marker, but I should imagine they swim along here. But seems to be plenty of dogfish out there, that's for sure. Get dogfish soup out there tonight. Squid rod's gone again. Another dogfish. I think that's dogfish number 4 now. So yeah, certainly getting a lot of sport, certainly getting a lot of action. I think if it was a match you wouldn't be complaining, would you? Probably 50 centimetre fish. So that'd be 200 plus the weighting. Yeah. Not that I'm a match man, but I'm just saying, you know, it would be a decent little haul for a first couple of hours. So yeah, can't complain. Catching fish. There's another little whiting there on the sand eel. Didn't know that was on there, but just as it was a few metres out, just started kicking a little bit. It's another fish. Happy days. So all is not rosy right now, so I'm having a cup of coffee and just chilling out for a bit. I was standing up there watching the rod tips, and both of them started knocking. So without sounding cocky, the way the evening's gone so far, I kind of expected to reel a fish in on each rod. I picked up the big squid rod, started winding that in, and as soon as it hit that kelp bed, just locked up solid. Couldn't budge it, and then I had to pull for the brake and lost all my gear, which is quite upsetting when you think of the lead and all the rig components. It's just stuff that you've just got. They're not being tight, but yeah, it is. It's a reality when you're fishing sort of snaggy, rocky ground. that you're going to lose a bit of gear. I know it's part and parcel, but there you go. Anyway, so then I welded in the other rod, and that got quite stuck. I was pretty sure up to the kelp bed there was a fish on, but it got stuck in the kelp, and as I pulled it through, I think whatever was on there has fallen off, and there was nothing there. So anyway, I've re-rigged up the squid rod, and both rods are back out again now. Incidentally, I've run out of sand eels now, so I've got squid on both rods. I don't know what the time is. Let me have a look at the time is. Time now is 8:20, so I think we've been fishing, must have started about just after 6. Probably been fishing about 2.5 hours, I suppose. We've had 4 dogs, I think, and a couple of whiting. Yeah, it's been great so far. I've really enjoyed it. But still going to give it a go for another couple of hours. I've got enough bait. I've probably got about another 6 or 7 squids there, so that's a few casts. If I need to, I can start fishing some flappers or something. Maybe catch a few whiting just for a change, but we'll see how it goes. I've just caught another little whiting. Tiny little thing. But it has slowed up a bit, definitely. Pop him in the bucket. It's definitely slowed up a little bit, and I think it's mainly because getting stuck in that kelp out there quite heavily and losing one lot of tackle, just lost my confidence a little bit banging it out. So what I'm doing is I'm chucking it a bit short now, in the hope that I can just fish this side of the kelp and not have the problems. The question is whether the fish are this side of the kelp or the other side of the kelp. They're obviously the other side, but we'll see. I've got them out there now. Just had that little whiting, so I think they'll be whiting anyway. I definitely had a whiting bite on the left hand rod, but I wound it in and there was nothing on there. But obviously I'm fishing a great big bait with two big hooks in it, so you're not going to catch them every time. But we're going to keep going, keep plugging away. Loving the evening, absolutely lovely out here. It's really quiet. Tide's coming up now. It's definitely going to start pushing me back a little bit in a minute, I think. But yeah, brilliant night to be out. So it seems like it's quite savage out there now. I've just lost another load of tackle. Getting loads of whiting bites close in, and I'm still getting caught up, and again more tackle loss. So I'm all packed up now. I'm going to jump back in the car and I'm going to go back along towards the coffee cup, see what I can find, and see if we can spend the last hour somewhere else. So as you can see, I've made the move now. Instead of going towards the coffee cup, I've gone the opposite direction. I've leapfrogged up here and I'm fishing Clarence Beach just to the side of it. I usually steer clear of this area because it's really busy. There's a pub, there's an amusement arcade, there's a big car park, and it's usually rammed full of people. But obviously because of what day it is, it's like a ghost town. There's nobody here at all. So I've got a couple of rods out there now fishing. I'm going to fish the rest of the tide up and then see where it goes from there. I might be able to fish it down a little bit as well. I've got plenty of time at my disposal. And I've still got a few squid left as well, so let's see how we go. So it's been really quiet. I've had the rods out for about half an hour. I've been watching them rod tips for half an hour and nothing's been happening whatsoever, nothing at all, not even any little twitches. And then the big rod just had a really good slam, a series of good slams, and I felt sure that there was a fish on there. Decent bite, and I wound it in and there was nothing there. So I've just put it back out again, and now the other rod's got a bite on it. I've just seen the rod tip go over, and yeah, there it goes again. I think there might be a fish on that one. So I'm going to wind it in and have a look, but I think it might have been slack water for a bit when I got here. And now maybe the tide's starting to move a bit and the fish are starting to move with it, so hopefully I can show you a fishing in a minute. It's taken a little while, but eventually we've got a fish from this spot. We've got a little dogfish. Lovely fish. I've been getting quite a few bites, but I've been missing them. It's been quite frustrating fishing, to be honest, for the So that's it from me tonight. I'm back in the car now, all loaded up. It's just after midnight. That's enough for me. I got down here about 6 o'clock, maybe 5:45. Time I made a couple of rigs up and got fishing, it was probably about 6:15 when I started fishing. So I've been fishing for the best part of 6 hours. And it's been great. It's been a bit slow up here. I've had a few bites up here and had one dogfish and dropped a couple of fish. But yeah, fantastic fishing. Really enjoyed the session. Not quite sure what I'm going to do next. I keep wanting to get out with the lures. I've also want to get up on the river and have a little go for the gudgeon and a couple of little carp pools that can produce pretty well in the winter as well. So I quite fancy a bit of a rod bending day. So I'm going to see what time I've got left. I've still got another week and a half until I have to go back to work. So I'm sure I can get out a couple of times between now and then. So again, thanks for watching. Happy Christmas, and see you in the next one.